So today, you all, we are starting a unit on the importance of words. The importance of words. There are two parts that we're going to do that with. One is going to be to increase just our word recognition, our word spelling. So we are going to do a short assessment on that. The other thing that we're going to do today is talk about just the meaning and importance of words. I'll take a moment about like the importance of words and how we use it in our culture, not how it's typically used in Eurocentric culture, which a lot of time is to trick us out of things, to get us to feel a certain way because it benefits mainstream. And so I want us to really, really think about words culturally and also how it affects us living in this country, right? We want to be able to break down words when we're looking at a lease, when we're signing contracts. We want to be able to look at it and make sure, okay, you're not trying to get me. And then we also want to hold on to words that empower us. So those are the two different ways that I want us to talk about words, but I first want to talk about it from the empowerment side, right? Because once you have empowerment, then you can handle the other side where people are trying to disempower you. So I want to start there, talking about the words of empowerment. So, one, our goal for with word study and everything else is that we need to understand that words carry culture, history, and meaning. Culture, history, and meaning. And when we have that understanding, we can clearly communicate. We can look at things objectively. We can decide if we're upset over how a word is used or not. But first, we need to understand what the word means. Because a lot of time people get upset about a word. I'm like, do you even know what it means? Or people take on a word, they own it. And I'm like, do you even know what that means? So again, understanding words is very important to our identity. And so we are going to work on, and we talked about last week the power of our RE or re, knowing who we are, making wise choices. And part of that is understanding words. And so we're going to spend some time working on word development. So that is one of our goals. And words are powerful. They tell stories about where we come from, our value, how we see the world. Words change over time. And so there are a lot of words that your parents, family, grandparents may use. You're like, what does that mean? Because words hold like certain moments in time. And so they are important and they can make us have a special memory in our mind. And it can also help carry wisdom. Like when we're talking about Proverbs, understanding and breaking down the Proverbs, any type of Proverbs, from any type of culture, requires understanding the words that are attached. Okay, so words contain culture. Words contain culture, especially when we're talking about traditional culture. It's less and less when we get to this Western European culture because for a lot of what they're doing is taking words from different places and putting it together. Sometimes in European culture, it's spelled wrong. Like we have cocoa, hot chocolate. The original word was cacao. And so they took that word and a lot of different words from Spanish. They just borrowed words from a lot of different places. It wasn't spelled correctly and it lost some of its meaning. And so in this particular country, we just have a conglomeration of words put together. And sometimes it can be used as disempowerment. But we want to hold on to all of the things that we are learning for empowerment. For instance, Coralina was taking Zulu, and you would hear the term Ubuntu. I am because we are. I am because we are. That one word has such a powerful meaning of community. A person was not a person without other people. So words are very, very important in our traditional language, and we want to make sure that we use them wisely. We want to make sure that we are using them for our empowerment. That's number one. Looking at another word, ashe in Yoruba means the power to make things happen. Ashe, use your ashe, the power to make things happen. Again, small words with a lot of punch, and we want to make sure that we hold on to that when we speak. We want to make sure that we speak with power. So other examples of words we have is like sawubona, again, from Isi, no, that, yeah, sawubona, Isuzulu, right? All right. So even with that, when we say, well, this means hello, that means hello, it means more than that. Like Sawubona is we see you. We see you as a community. We acknowledge your presence. That's different from hello. When we say Ekaro, it's not just hello, it's may you be filled with the energy of this morning. So because our traditional languages are so packed with power, we want to make sure that when we speak all the time, that we speak with power. And sometimes it is difficult with the language that is spoken in this country, but we want to do our best. And we want to continue to learn the languages of our people. So, with that being said, we're going to come back to this lesson of choosing a word. We're going to think about, we're going to create, number one, is we're going to create a section in our notebook just for words. Words that we come across, if we hear our parents say it, if we hear our grandma saying it, we're going to choose a word from our culture, our family, our tradition, or a word that we think is very powerful. Freedom, peace, ashe, ubuntu, sawubona. We're going to choose a word. And we're going to give that word simple drawings or pictures that connect to the meaning. And this is how we will learn to do our vocabulary. This is how the vocabulary piece will fit within our bigger note section when we start to take notes. It all starts with vocabulary. It all starts with the word. Y'all seen Akila the Bee, and she talks about small words make bigger words, and they make this, and that's how we become these word scholars. We start with a small word. So today's demonstration of what we're going to do is going to connect to how we will deal with words in this class. So again, number one, I want you all, and you might split your notebook. I don't know if you have a binder, but let's take our notebook and we're going to choose one word. And how you will do this will be your choice because we will learn to do this when we take our notes. So I want everyone in their notebook, okay, we can do it for homework. I want you to think about a word that's important to your family, okay? You're going to take the word and you're going to put it, you don't have to put it in too big of a letters, just this is our practice for how we will discover and interact with words. So you're going to take that word, put it in your notebook. Doesn't have to be that big. Then what you're going to do is give me the symbols. This will be how we get ready to connect to our notes. You're going to give me a symbol, a drawing, or a picture that connects to the meaning. And then you're going to choose a story. You're going to share a story. What is important about this word? And again, this is how we will interact with words in this class. So I will allow you all to have a chance to think about that for homework. So again, you'll have the word, a picture, a symbol, and something that's attached to it. It doesn't have to be a long story. For instance, if I were to say my word is ashe, so I write down my word ashe. Then if I had to decorate it with ashe, I might even put a black power fist up there. I might do somebody who's just very large, making things happen. I might put a lot of different things that I like, need, and want. That's Ashe. And then if I wanted to share my story, I would say that Ashe helps us to bring the things that we want into existence. I might put a little, so something real short. Like some people used to say amen, 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 just like I agree with you, but no, it means the power to make things happen. And this particular word is very, very, very important to my family. Okay, so those are the three parts. When we deal with the word, there are three parts that I want you to make sure you have: the word, a symbol, and a short little story that goes with it. Does that make sense, y'all? Three parts when we have vocabulary. Does that make sense? You will also, when you think about the word, when we are building our notebook, we're going to think. As we are thinking and listening going forward, we're going to return to our word power notebook. We're going to call it our word power notebook. Okay. So the other thing we might say is, how does this connect to my culture, my family, or who I want to be? And then what other words? Okay. What other words could I learn that would help me understand my culture better? Learning words doesn't just come just studying. This word means this word means that. You have to give it a story. You have to give it a life. Words have life, they speak life into us. And so I want us to really, really become better with what we do with words. And I think what I'll do is I will make a worksheet. I'll make a worksheet for this. Okay. I'll make a worksheet for this. And every Monday, we'll try to add a powerful word because we hear a lot of crazy words, right? All over people saying words, some words they shouldn't say. I also want us to have words that are with power. I want us to have words that have power. All right. So I'll create a worksheet. But for right now, if you just have your word, that works for me. If you have thought of a word, that works for me. And you will have this note sheet, this note PowerPoint in the assignment. And I am going to create a worksheet. Or, I mean, this kind of has a little worksheet right here. Y'all be all right taking the assignment from here, right? Just as it is, yeah, it'll tell you here's your word. And so I'll put this in the assignment. All right, so the goal of our unit this 9 weeks, we're going to get good with words. We're going to get good with spelling them, using them, applying them, talking about how they fit in our family and empowerment. Okay, because words are power. People use them sometimes in a way that negates a being, but we want to make sure when we're talking about ourselves that we are understanding that words have power.